So when I was 20 years old and recently married, and I had my long hippie hair, and we were visiting Davy's parents in upstate New York when her father, who was a gruff character, invited me, in quotes, invited me to play in the Sunday morning men's golf game. I didn't have any golfing experience other than having gone to a driving range once with my dad, who showed me how to hold the club and swing it, and such as it was. So I said yes. And on the first tee, I stepped up to the ball and I had my club and I centered my mind and I swung, and the ball lifted up into the sky, stunning me. It was perfect arc. It bounced, it rolled within just a few feet of the green. I knocked it onto the green. And then the next putt, it went into the hole and I had par. And my father-in-law was just sort of stunned, speechless, looking at me, and he shook his head and he said, "That meditation stuff must really work." And inwardly, I must admit, I gloated a bit. And I said to myself, yes, it's amazing. I'm going to meditate through the rest of this round of golf. And on the next hole, I hit the ball up the hill, it rolled down, I hit it up, rolled down, hit it up, rolled down. It took 16 strokes to get into the next hole, and it didn't improve from there. So what happened? What happened on the first hole was that I had stumbled into, well, let's call it the par zone. But as was evidenced by every other hole following that first one, I hadn't developed the capacity to sustain that level of play. For me, then and definitely now, shooting par would be a happy accident. And a happy accident is a wonderful thing. Whether it occurs on the golf course or whether it occurs in a conversation or whether it occurs in our spiritual life. There's a famous saying in the Zen tradition that's attributed to many people that says enlightenment is a happy accident. And the key, spiritually, is to become more accident prone. That's what we're talking about today, not golf. How to become more accident prone. Because all of us, and certainly if you've listened this far, know what it means to step into the awakening zone, that awareness that arises when causes and conditions conspire to drop the veils of our conditioning, and we experience the ever-present radiance, and we see it's been here all along. We're at a new level of being, perception of presence, a new way of engaging with our life, a way that was dormant but present. And when that happens, it's this beautiful, grace-filled state. In psychology, it's called a flow state. And when we stumble into it, it does seem, in a sense, like an act of grace. It's a happy accident, but it's not intentional. By definition, it's something that just happens. So how can we become more accident prone, more inclined to recognizing the beauty, the radiance, the inherent meaning that is present with this very breath? That's what spiritual practice is for. Spiritual practice is that daily discipline of making time in your busy life for stillness, for presence, for cultivating a taste of familiarity and intimacy with the radiance, for discovering how when the mind wanders, it's possible effortlessly to note that and return, to that which is deeper than thought, to strengthen your capacity to abide without effort in the presence that is breathing you. This is a cultivation of a capacity that strengthens the neural networks that are the supports of the deepening and the sustaining of those states in our informal practice, which is when we're walking around and interacting with the wonderful teachers that surround us in our life, on our cell phones, in our workplaces, in our families, certainly. The teachers who, through being simply themselves, awaken in us whatever needs to be seen, whatever state of incompleteness, whatever state of reactivity needs to be seen, recognized, and gently released so that we can come back to the present moment of our relationship with our life from a state and an awareness of grace and presence. So practicing meditation strengthens our capacity and inclines us to be accident prone, so that in the everyday moments of our life, whether someone's yelling at us or praising us, whether something is late or on time, whether the traffic is stopped or flowing, we will have the inclination to fall into the awakened zone, to become aware of the beauty that is already present. And that means happy accidents don't have to be accidental. We can cultivate the capacity, the inclination, and the tendency to, rather than struggle with the conditions in our life, meet them with loving awareness and infuse them with blessing so that we can continue to receive the teachings that are coming to us at every moment, strengthening our openness to life itself, which is incredibly valuable. Even if you're on the golf course with your father-in-law,